Let me hit you with something real. What if I told you that 6 months from now, you could be unrecognizable in the best way possible? New mindset, new habits, new energy, better health, stronger confidence, more money. Not a fantasy, just 6 months. Most people scroll past this kind of message. Why? Because they've been told change is hard. Success takes years. Transformation is for the lucky. They've been lied to. They've been conditioned to believe that maybe someday is a strategy. It's not. You don't need to wait for a new year, a new month, or a miracle. You just need one decision, one moment of clarity, one commitment to say, for the next 6 months, I'm all in. No more games. No more excuses. Let's go. This isn't just about getting better. It's about becoming who you were meant to be. And doing it in 6 months. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Step by step, truth by truth. Because if you're serious about leveling up, the next 180 days could change the next 10 years of your life. 1. 6 months is long enough to transform, but short enough to stay hungry. Let's start with this. 6 months is more powerful than you think. It's long enough to build discipline, install new habits, and see massive results. But short enough that you don't lose momentum, don't burn out, and don't make excuses. See, when people set goals with no timeline, they wander, they drift, they try. But when you give yourself 6 months, there's urgency, there's pressure, and pressure creates diamonds. 6 months is that sweet spot. It gives you enough time to evolve, but not enough time to waste. You can lose 30+ pounds, read 12 books, learn a high-income skill, wake up at 5 a.m. consistently, completely clean up your environment, launch a business, build habits that outlast motivation. You can go from chaos to clarity, from lazy to locked in, from doubting yourself to becoming undeniable. But here's what most people don't understand. People overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in 6 months. Why? Because 6 months sounds small until you live them with intention. Imagine what happens when you remove the junk. No more binge scrolling. No more negative self-talk. No more distractions you know are stealing your potential. Just 6 months of focused, consistent effort, and you'd shock yourself. You'd walk past a mirror and not even recognize the person staring back. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being deliberate. It's about treating each day like a brick, and knowing that if you lay one solid brick at a time, in 180 days, you'll have a fortress. So ask yourself, what if I committed? What if I really went all in? What if I stopped trying to change everything in one day, and instead gave 6 months my full attention? Because here's the truth. 6 months of discipline can give you a life others only dream about. But you have to start now. Not next week. Not next month. Now. 2. Audit your life. Then draw the line. Before you can build a new life, you've got to be brutally honest about the one you're living right now. You can't change what you refuse to confront. So if you want the next 6 months to be different, truly different, you have to start with an audit, a personal inspection. Not sugar-coated, not filtered, just raw truth. Ask yourself, what's helping me grow? What's holding me back? Who drains my energy? Who fuels my vision? What habits are costing me peace, progress, and potential? Because here's the reality. Most people aren't stuck because of a lack of motivation. They're stuck because they're surrounded by things they never questioned. Toxic people, wasted time, garbage input from social media, negative self-talk, and they've just learned to live with it. But you, if you want to change your life, you've got a clean house. You don't get what you want. You get what you tolerate. It's time to stop tolerating what's destroying your focus. Do a full life audit. Your environment, is it cluttered or calm? Your circle, do they challenge you or chain you? Your habits, are they building your future or breaking it down? You can't go to war with your old self while still making peace with your old life. Once you've audited everything, draw the line. This is where it ends. This is where you say no more. No more being available to people who don't respect your time. No more starting your day with junk content and distractions. No more spending energy defending bad habits or old stories. Draw the line and decide who you're going to be from here on out. Because the person you want to become, they're on the other side of that line. You've got to protect your progress before you even begin. Because here's the truth. You can't grow in the same soil that's been poisoning your roots. If you want the next 6 months to work, you can't just add things. You have to subtract too. Cut the dead weight. Clean out the noise. Stop negotiating with what's keeping you small. Audit everything. Then draw the line like your future depends on it. Because it does. 3. Choose a few things and go deep. Let me tell you a hard truth. Trying to change everything at once is the fastest way to change nothing at all. Too many people make this mistake. They start the journey fired up, trying to read 20 books, build 5 new habits, chase 3 goals, fix every flaw, and reinvent their life in a week. They think the more they take on, the faster they'll transform. But what actually happens? They burn out. They get overwhelmed. They quit. Why? Because focus isn't just power, it's survival. And the brain doesn't thrive on chaos. It thrives on clarity. So if you want to change your life in 6 months, don't chase everything. Choose a few things and go deep. Pick 3 areas. That's it. Ask yourself, what 3 habits would change everything if I stayed consistent? What 3 skills could completely shift my income, my health, or my confidence? What 3 patterns in my mindset or behavior are holding me back the most? You don't need to do it all. You just need to do the right things deeply. Depth creates transformation. Distraction just creates motion. That's the difference between those who try to change and those who actually do. Let me give you an example. Let's say you choose wake up at 5:30 a.m. every day. Work out for 45 minutes. Read 10 pages of a life-changing book. Now imagine doing just those 3 things every day for 180 days straight. That's not small. That's massive momentum. Your energy improves. Your mind sharpens. Your discipline strengthens. And over time, that 1 hour in the morning becomes the foundation of an entirely new identity. But it doesn't work if you chase 20 things with half your heart. It works when you chase 3 things with full commitment. So ask yourself, what are my 3? What are the few things that would shift everything if I stayed locked in? Choose with intention, stick with discipline, and go deep, not wide. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Because over the next 6 months, it's not about being everywhere. It's about building power right where you are. 5. Show up on the days you don't feel like it. Let me be straight with you. The real battle isn't when you feel motivated. It's not when the sun is shining, your playlist is fire, and your coffee kicks in just right. The real battle is when you're tired, when you're doubting yourself, when the voice in your head says, just skip it today. 1 day won't hurt. That's when it counts. Because anyone can show up when they feel good. But champions show up when they don't. Winners? They build the habit of pushing forward on the hard days. And that's what separates them from the rest. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. See, your goals don't care how you feel today. Your dream physique doesn't care about your mood. That business you want to build doesn't care about your excuses. The life you say you want, it's waiting for you to prove you're serious. And you prove it by how you show up when it's inconvenient. Now listen, you're not always going to be at 100%. That's okay. You don't need perfection. You just need presence. Even if all you can give today is 40%. Give that 40% with everything you've got. Because when you show up for yourself on the hard days, something powerful happens. You build trust in yourself. You build momentum that compounds. You train your brain that quitting is not an option anymore. And here's the truth. The people you admire, the ones living the life you want, they weren't superhuman. They were just consistent. They pushed through the fog. They showed up when it was uncomfortable. They laced up their shoes when they didn't feel like it. And that's what made them unstoppable. So if you want to change your life in 6 months, here's a mantra for you. I don't wait to feel like it. I show up anyway. Because every time you do, you get stronger. You build something inside of you that motivation can't give. You build character. You build identity. And most of all, you build a life you can be proud of. So next time that voice says, skip it, you say back, not today. And then you show up, especially when you don't feel like it. 6. Protect your environment like your life depends on it. Because it does. Let's get one thing straight. You can have the best goals. You can have the strongest mindset. You can even have the perfect plan. But if you're trying to grow in toxic soil, you're setting yourself up to fail. Your environment isn't just a background setting. It's the fuel for your habits, your beliefs, and your results. It either pushes you forward or pulls you under. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Jim Rohn. Think about that. Look around you. Who's in your ear every day? What are you seeing, hearing, and absorbing? Every time you open your phone, turn on the TV, or step into a room. Because if your environment is filled with negative people who laugh at your goals, energy drainers who constantly complain, distractions that steal your time and peace, then no matter how hard you try, you'll always feel like you're running uphill with a parachute strapped to your back. Changing your life in 6 months requires more than just motivation. It requires protection. You've got to protect your focus, like your future depends on it, because it does. That means stop explaining your vision to people who haven't earned the right to hear. Unfollow people who make you feel not enough. Say no to gatherings that leave you mentally empty and emotionally bruised. Block the noise that breaks your momentum. Create a space that feeds your greatness, not your insecurity. Your environment should remind you of your power, not your past. It should support your next level, not drag you back to your old one. Start small. Clean your room. A cluttered space leads to a cluttered mind. Curate your digital world. Only follow voices that feed your focus. Limit time around people who drain you. Your energy is sacred. Surround yourself with voices, books, mentors, and music that breathe life into your purpose. If you want to change in 6 months, protect your environment like a warrior. Make it your mission to build a space where growth isn't just possible, it's inevitable. And remember this, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your environment. So raise your environment and watch how your life rises with it. 7. Stack tiny wins. They build big momentum. You want to change your life in 6 months. Then forget about massive overnight success. Forget about giant leaps. What you need is tiny wins. Every single day. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. Robert Collier. See, most people fail not because they're lazy, but because they're addicted to big moments. They're waiting for that one perfect opportunity, that one massive breakthrough. And while they wait, they overlook the small steps, the ones that actually change everything. Let me tell you the truth. Tiny wins compound. They create momentum. They create belief. And belief is what powers transformation. It's not sexy. It's not flashy, but it works every single time. When you wake up 30 minutes earlier, that's a win. When you hit the gym, even though you're tired, that's a win. When you read 10 pages instead of scrolling for 30 minutes, that's a win. When you choose water over soda, when you say no to gossip, when you journal instead of complain, every one of those is a win. And when you stack the tiny wins, day after day, you start to build something unstoppable. You start to feel different. And that feeling, that's momentum. That's when your brain starts saying, I'm doing this. I'm not who I used to be. I'm building something real. Look, change doesn't come from doing something huge once. It comes from doing something small consistently and watching it grow. Think of it like laying bricks. Each small choice is a brick, and every time you show up, you're laying one more. At first, it's just a few scattered bricks, but keep going, and soon you've built a wall. Keep going longer, and you've built a fortress of habits, a fortress of discipline, a fortress of confidence that no one can tear down. So here's what I want you to do starting today. Set small, winnable targets every day. Don't try to climb the whole mountain. Just take one strong step. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I win today? Write it down. Feel it. Celebrate it. Because when you learn to celebrate small progress, you become dangerous. Why? Because no one can stop someone who knows how to keep moving, no matter how small the steps may be. And 6 months from now, you'll look back and realize it was never one big moment. It was the thousands of tiny wins, stacked day after day, that created the breakthrough you've been waiting for. So don't underestimate your next decision. Stack your next win, and then do it again, and again, and again. That's how transformation happens. Now listen closely. Transformation isn't some far-off dream reserved for a lucky few. It's right in front of you. It's in the hour you choose to spend today. It's in the tiny win you decide to stack. It's in the environment you protect and the mindset you build. Give yourself 6 months. That's it. 6 months of consistent, intentional effort. 6 months of showing up, even when you don't feel like it. 6 months of stacking small wins that lead to unstoppable momentum. Remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be persistent. And when you combine persistence with patience, there's nothing you can't achieve. So start right now. Choose your first tiny win. Protect your space, show up, and keep going. Because in 6 months, you won't just have changed your habits, you'll have changed your life. This is your time. Own it, believe it, make it happen. Thank you for watching. And remember, your future starts with the actions you take today.